Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Donald Trump versus Joe Biden, right? And the decision to decide who to vote for processed through Mad Max to Road Warrior, and specifically dealing with, very specifically dealing with charisma and surprises. Okay. All right. So I just watched this movie, Mad Max Road Warrior, Mad Max 2 Road Warrior. It's one of my favorite films. Absolutely love this film. And there was a very special scene that really made me think closely about Donald Trump. So right now, I'm like everybody else in the country. I got to decide if I'm going to vote for Donald Trump or Joe Biden. And I will tell you right now, this is an incredibly painful decision for me. And the reason why is I refuse to vote blue no matter who. And I don't even know if there's a red saying for that, right? Vote red for whatever reason. I have no idea what that would be, right? But the reality is I don't do blue no matter who. It matters. I need to believe in the person I'm going to vote for, right? And right now, I don't believe in either one of these people, so I'm trying to figure out, how do I get there? How do I make sense of all this? How do I do the right thing and make the right decision, right? And so I'm inviting you into my thought process, and so I'm watching this movie, Mad Max 2: The Road Warrior, and there's this beautiful scene in the movie where Mad Max goes into the settlement where they have the gasoline, right? They have an entire tanker full of gasoline, right? And Mad Max, of course, has one of the last great V8 Interceptors, right? He's super cool, so he rolls into this town, and he's like, okay, I'm here, let's do this. And so he starts to do, so basically at that point, he gets into position to get as much gasoline as he can out with his V8 Interceptor, right? Well, he encounters this feral child. So in the gasoline settlement, which is a bunch of really nice people who are, just there trying to make their way in the wastelands, trying to fight against the barbarian hordes, literally, right? And there's this feral child, right? And the child looks and acts kind of like a dog, right? The child's maybe 6 or 7 at the most, maybe 4 or 5. And he immediately comes up and he kind of sniffs out Mad Max. And Mad Max is a prisoner at this point. The gasoline settlement has taken him prisoner, okay? And so he's chained up to this bar, and this child comes along, and he looks at Mad Max, and Mad Max is just armor and weapons. That's all he is at this point, just some bristlebone armor and weapons, right? And so Mad Max looks down at this kid, and this kid looks back at him, and then the kid doesn't go anywhere, and Mad Max puts his hand into his pocket and pulls out a tiny little music box. And it's set, by the way, I watch all movies with closed caption. Helps me learn, helps me read, helps me capture the names of the characters. And it said that the name of the song that was played was Hurdy-Gurdy. I don't know what that is. Maybe I have no idea. But it plays this song, and the feral child receives this gift from Mad Max, right? And immediately, Mad Max is his main boon person, right? He really likes Mad Max, right? And they become allies in that moment, right? And the kid pretty much dedicates himself to keeping Mad Max safe, right? And it was a beautiful scene in the film, and I was thinking about that, and it reminded me of Donald Trump, right? Now, I did not vote for Donald Trump in 2016. I have no intentions of voting for him in 2020. But I'm stuck like everybody else. I have to choose between these two horrible choices, right? And when I watched this, it reminded me of Trump, right? A lot, because one of the things that is a problem is that the media, in my opinion, has painted 100% the wrong picture of Donald Trump. In my opinion, Donald Trump is an incredibly intelligent, dangerous person. And the reason why is he fundamentally does not respect the role he holds. I don't think he respects the U.S. presidency. That is at the role. of U.S. presidency. It's incredibly important to me. And it might not be to a lot of other people, but this is a role that's handed down, and it's been handed down 45 times, right? And Andrew Yang should have been 46, right? But he's not going to be. And so Donald Trump is the 45th president. This role is incredibly important, and he has done nothing to protect it and a ton of things to destroy it, right? To majorly chip away at the foundation of this role. I don't think he's destroyed it yet, but he has done irreparable damage, right? And I think we're just going to have to duct tape over some of the sections of the presidency that he's destroyed. And it's very upsetting to me, right? But the man himself is very fascinating. He is like Mad Max in that when that child looked at Mad Max, all he saw was bone and gristle, right? And was bone, gristle, and weapons and armor. That's all that you could see on Mad Max. But he had a surprise. A charismatic, dramatic surprise. He had a music box on himself. And when he had decided, hey, what am I going to carry on my spare form? He chose this music box, right? And then when the time came, he was selfless enough to give it to somebody who needed it more than himself, right? And it delighted this child. And that's the issue is I have so many reasons not to vote for Donald Trump, but I am stuck and frustrated, right? Because the reality is Donald Trump has surprises. There are no surprises with Joe Biden. He is milquetoast, commonplace. And I just don't feel there are any surprises in him. He's never going to pull out a music box for a feral child, right? Whereas Donald Trump, that's the kind of guy who's going to pull out a music box for a feral child, right? And it's frustrating. Now, why don't I just go, okay, that's it, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump? Well, I'm still struggling. And one of the reasons why I'm struggling is Andrew Yang. I will tell you right now, this election has become incredibly personal to me and incredibly emotional, right? This isn't a logical decision for me anymore. I switched my registration from Republican to Democrat to vote for Andrew Yang. I did vote for him in the primary. I had to write him in after he quit, right? And that was a stab in my heart with an iron dagger, an iron political dagger, right? And I will never forget that. I will never forget that when I never gave up on Yang, he gave up on me, right? That I can't process that, right? I'm still struggling to process that, right? And then the other thing that really I'm still struggling to process too is the Blues, the Democrats. When they trotted out Kamala Harris and Christine Gillibrand and Amy Klobuchar and Andrew Yang and Cory Booker, and showed this array of amazing candidates that matched the diversity that we were trying to achieve, right? And matched the intelligence that you would expect important statespeople to have. And that had, and some of the candidates had nobility, and they all had a little bit of charisma, and they had heartland, stalwart values. I got so excited in real change. I got so excited in an election that would matter, where we weren't choosing the lesser of two middling, horrible, commonplace, just terrible, terrible options, right? That this was going to be an election to be excited for, that we would have a candidate you could champion and that you could get behind, right? And for the Blues to just sweep all those pieces off the board like they were worthless trash and just say, here's your tired, rerun president who doesn't even want the job. That's not me saying it. That's Biden saying it. In 2016, he said, I do not want this job. I take my incumbency, the most powerful force in American politics, I crumple it like trash and I throw it away. Right? And now I'm being asked to vote for that person? It is, I will tell you right now, I'm emotionally bound and torn. And I feel hurt by the Blues, by the Democrats. It is frustrating. It is frustrating. It is frustrating. And I'm telling you right now, each day I pray for all of you guys out there, and you gals. I'm struggling. I'm really just struggling. I don't know. I don't know where to put my vote. I really don't. And I have never been taxed more with a more soulless, agonizing decision. And I'm still thinking, and I really don't know what the best thing to do is. I do not want to elect a person who, in my opinion, does not want the job and has no ability to get through even a single term, and that's Joe Biden. It's the way I see him. I'm more than willing to hear you out. If you think there's a good reason in the world to vote for this person who doesn't even want the job, right? And that's the other thing is I see, like, Donald Trump is a Darth Vader villain, but he owns that villainy. He doesn't pretend to be what he's not, right? And for Joe Biden to slink back and try to get involved in the problem he literally made by taking his incumbency and treating it like trash and coming for a job that in reality he doesn't even want and has absolutely, in my opinion, no intention and no ability to finish even a single term, I don't know where to put my vote. So I'm being honest with you. I'm incredibly frustrated with all of this at this point. Where are you at? How are you processing this? I genuinely would love to hear from you, and maybe you have a way that you've made peace to vote for one of these people, because I really don't know who. And after having the hope of Andrew Yang and being dragged back to the sad, frustrating reality of Joe Biden, I just don't know what to do. I'm laying my heart out here for you guys because I know you care about this too. Thank you for watching this channel. Thank you for your patience with me. I'm struggling in these times. These are challenging times. We're all being drug over glass at this point. I'm praying for you. I want the best for each and every single one of you. If you found any wisdom to help you with this decision, let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing and have a wonderful millennium.